handoff. My name is Phil Liu. I'm with PNSQC, and I'm here just interviewing some of the participants. I see you're a committee member. So how's the show going for you so far?
Busy. Had some good presentations. Kept me running around a lot. I had to keep some of the session moderators going, and we.
What would you say would be the biggest thing that you learned today?
That's tough. I'd say reinforcing some ideas that I've had, things I've known, just getting the positive feedback that we're on the right track and that we just need to continue.
Okay. All right, great. Thanks a lot. I'm with PNSQC, and I'm interviewing some of the poster paper folks here. And here we have Lloyd with Crowd Compass, who actually, his company did the application, the mobile app for PNSQC. So, Lloyd, maybe you can talk a little about your app and maybe some unique features of it or some updates you made from last year.
Absolutely. So the app that we created is for mobile events, just basically to share information, get away from the paper smashing. Everybody has all the updates that people, at the conferences want updated information. And it's hard to do that through paper, so we provide an app that allows you to share contact information between each other, talk to each other, social sharing, get information up to date about the event itself, and also any changes right away. So we try to leverage technology to help people get to learning as fast as they can.
Right. Great. So one of the things, as you know, that's big is agile development, right? Changing with requirements right away. And so we noticed that a lot of people are not filling in the surveys. So if you had that requirement change on you, what do you think we could do in the application to encourage people to fill out the surveys?
Well, it's kind of funny, as I was talking to Terry earlier about this too. Yeah. So I think that there's two options here. Number one, that a lot of people wait till the end of the day to do their surveys. So that's one thing. But we also allow push notifications to go out to people throughout the day to remind them that they can do the surveys on the app too. So that would be an option.
Great. Thanks very much, and we'll move on to our next poster paper. This is Phil Liu. I'm with PNSQC, and I'm here interviewing some of the poster papers. And here I have Phyllis Thompson, who is with Shiftwise. Phyllis, why don't you tell us a little bit about your poster paper?
Okay. So this poster paper is a summary of the paper that I wrote with Mike Belding and that we presented this morning. And it's talking about how in our company, how it's an agile company, but we didn't get to being an agile company through starting with agile engineering and clearing impediments to get the company to come along with us. We actually, through a couple of failures, it wasn't all successes, but actually came to the realization that the way to start this kind of agile transformation is with finding out what the goals are for the rest of the organization and making sure that with your process and your cadence and your activities that you make sure that you make them successful as well, to kind of get them on your side, to make sure that they're supportive when you have to do things like maybe you need to do something big and take engineering off to do something else, and you're not going to have a release of something that they really want, that then you have a little sort of, credibility with the organization to say, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about meshing the organization's goals with the agile development.
Yes.
So is there sometimes a conflict?
There is, because during the sprint length, nothing can be changed. We're saying, we've got 2-week sprints. So if something comes in the middle of that 2-week sprint, then we say that, okay, well, either, we stop this plan and we break the sprint and we do the new thing, or we continue with this and you wait until the next planning day and then you plan your work in. So sometimes it goes either way. Sometimes we say, okay, they'll say, hey, we can wait till next time, or maybe we can wait even 2 sprints if it's not that urgent. Or sometimes, like what happened a couple weeks ago, we actually had something that came in and they said, no, this is so urgent. It's something new that came up and we really want you to stop and do this. And so then we just said, okay, and so we took that sprint, gone, right? And the team pivoted over onto the new thing. They spent about a day, actually. It wasn't, the thing that we had to do didn't take that long. But then when they came back to the work, then they replanned and they kind of saw what time they had left and then what they could accomplish in that time. Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess they lose a lot of momentum also. That's all that's wasted, right?
It is wasted.
That's interesting.
It's expensive.
Yeah,
And we've said,
right.
it's really expensive to take a team and turn them
Yeah.
onto this and then expect them to get right back. But it's something that the organization expects that we'll inform them about. So it's not that it's that efficient, but it's flexible. And that's what they want.
I think that's good, really, for organizations to recognize that they need to be agile about being agile. So if it means that they have to quit and do something else, then that's part of being agile, actually.
Yeah, it is, and the whole organization can do that along with engineering, and they can kind of swap priorities and support engineering, get that out the door, whatever they need to do to get the organization ready, and then come back and do whatever it is the next highest priority is.
Thanks a lot, Phyllis. Here's Phyllis with ShiftWise. Thank you. My name is Phil Liu. I'm with PNSQC, and I'm here today at the poster paper presentations, and I'm interviewing some of the authors. I'm here with Mike Wong, and we actually did this together, Mike, but I'll let you talk about it. Most of it's about test as a service. So why don't you talk a little bit about the flow and how this is something really special that you've worked on?
Well, as an automation person, we always face challenges in everyday life. And with all these challenges, we provide a generic solution to make all the automation platform language independent and make it really flexible. Even on cloud or on local machine, and make all the automation easy, extendable, and scalable, and can use it as a tool for individual person and a team work, and also as a business owner or automation lead or manager position. And right now we have launched it on Amazon Web Service, and we can, based on Amazon Web Service, we can have all different type of languages, different type of tools, and public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, and we have done all these automation things, and it's pretty exciting. We present it here, and we work together on this, and it's a good experience here.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things is that that I've worked with Mike on is getting the reports and the metrics out, because I'm giving a workshop on Wednesday all about metrics, and one of the cool things is that we can take metrics, or systems can input metrics into the cloud. We can take them out from anywhere, and so management being able to access these metrics is really really a cool thing from anywhere in the world. Hi, my name is Phil Liu, and I'm with PNSQC, and I'm interviewing some of the poster paper people here. One of them is James Eisenhower. I noticed his poster here is "I am not QA." I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to talk to James about it. James, why don't you tell us a little bit about what goes behind "I am not QA"?
So a lot of it's just changing the mindset of the roles and responsibility of quality engineers on the development teams, and a lot of times a lot of the history with QA and a lot of is brought in with that, and so a lot of it is just like getting rid of that and starting fresh and trying to, like, my lifelong dream right now is to kill the QA term so it's no longer used in software engineering, and so it's kind of my goal to reset the minds of what quality engineering is about and what kind of role you do in the team.
Reference James Whitaker. I am not what James Whitaker says is dead. So what is it all about?
So I was at Google Test Automation Conference in 2011 when James Whitaker claimed test is dead. And so a lot of it's through his, what he calls his dead, right? He almost thinks any quality engineer is dead. And I don't believe that. Right? And so a lot of it's, I believe there's a role for quality engineers on the development teams, and a lot of it is what I have written out is what I believe they should do.
What would you say would be the biggest thing that, how is our job as QA people? What should we be focusing on?
I think the biggest challenge is being part of the team. Like, don't be a separate entity, and I think a lot of that comes from the early days of quality control with manufacturing and then CMMI and this whole separate entity. And so being part of the team and helping the team make great software is doing whatever it takes to improve the product is what they should be focusing on.
Okay, great. Well, thanks very much, James. We certainly don't want to be separate, right?
All right.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Hi, my name is Phil Liu, and I'm here with Alan Ark, who is one of the longtime PNSQCers. How many PNSQC conferences have you been to, Alan?
I want to say this is my 9th or 10th.
Your 9th or 10th, and you
Yeah.
keep coming back.
Keep coming back. It's like QA camp.
Okay. And what would you say is different about this conference as opposed to past conferences?
Well, I got to say, it's the number of people, and the vibe is much more positive these days compared to years past. It could be for any number of reasons. The job market right now in Portland is super hot. It's blazing hot. And the topics and the quality of the speakers this year are top-notch. Every single speaker I've gone to, I've been interested, engaged, and I'm going to take a little nugget back home to try some things out. And that's why I love coming here. I've had 20 years experience, and in general, I kind of see things like, yeah. But coming here, it's like, yeah, I got a little nugget. A little something everywhere I go, bring home and try. Yep.
Okay. Hi, my name is Phil Liu. I'm with PNSQC, and I'm interviewing another poster paper author, and we have today Carol Brands. So, Carol, why don't you tell us a little bit about your finding the materials for your personal bridge to quality?
Well, finding the materials to your personal bridge to quality is partly my story, going from a bored, kind of unsatisfied tester to a happy and productive tester. And what happened was here, I had a lot of questions. I was a little bit unsure. I was willing to let things go if they weren't quite in the requirements. I was writing really highly scripted test cases. And through finding all of these materials and finding all of this information from different sources like conferences, practicing testing groups, magazines, books, blogs, meetups, online communities, social media, and professional organizations, I was able to get over the barrier of isolation that I discovered I was suffering from, and was able to develop into a happy and productive tester who knew to ask questions like, if a behavior looks weird, go ahead and ask more questions to make sure it's not a problem, rather than depending on requirements. I was also able to, learn to question things like, do I really need to write a test case specifically for every defect and test it over and over again in every regression? Is that really the best way to go? So I've developed into a happier tester, but also a tester that knows to ask more questions to get satisfaction from my job.
Well, great, Carol. Thanks very much. It sounds like you have a little light over your head now. So
That's right. Now I'm a thinking tester.
yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Phil Liu. I'm with PNSQC, and I'm here interviewing poster paper author Dan Lamette, and Dan's actually the tallest guy here today, so I was really interested in coming over and talking to him. There's the prize for it, yeah. So Dan, why don't you talk a little bit about rapid schema development with Excel to schema? I guess this is kind of a product that you developed based on Excel?
Yes, this is an open source system. And basically what it does is it allows the definition of a database schema, but in the form of an Excel document, where each sheet is a table, and there are fields defined in each table, and so you see all the basic elements of a schema. So we have a foreign field, all the formats of the fields. There are indexes that can be defined, and so and there's even sample data that you can provide. And so basically what the project does is it takes these Excel files and it generates that into Rails, as in Ruby on Rails, schema documents. So it produces a schema file, a supplemental seed file with the data that the Excel files have, and model files with the relationships. And what this allows you to do is in prototyping mode and early development is to basically represent your schema in a format that is non-technical and is easy to manipulate and discuss, especially with non-technical people. It also allows you to keep your model well organized. This method should be easier to build as in a environment where the schema is changing rapidly. So it should basically keep the system more stable.
Well, thanks very much, Dan. And Hopefully, we'll get to hang out a little bit more, and maybe I can be as tall as you someday when I grow up.
Eat your broccoli.
Okay, thanks. Hi, my name is Phil Liu. I'm with PNSQC, and I'm here with Shauna Gonzales, who is a longtime PNSQCer. Shauna, how long have you been coming to PNSQC?
I've been a volunteer since 1990, so I've been coming for about 23 years now.
Wow, okay. And what would you say was the difference of this year versus all the other years?
Well, we have more people this year, and I think more people always brings more energy, more ideas. That would probably be.
Okay, so is this like the biggest one so far? Or?
Well, I don't know if it's the biggest so far, but I know it's the biggest one since we did a partnership some years back with another organization.
Wow, okay. And what would you say would be the biggest takeaway for today? Or I guess you sat in a lot of sessions today, right?
I did. I actually am the person who organizes the lunch hour networking, the Deep Dive Birds of a Feather. And that was actually one of my favorite parts of the day, not to be biased, but John Bach led conversation, and it was very interactive, and a lot of good ideas were interchanged. And so I think it was kind of a highlight and fun part of the day for me.
Okay, great. Well, we hope to have you keep volunteering and keep coming back. Thanks very much. Hi, my name is Phil Liu, and I have Dwayne Thomas with me here. And Dwayne's one of the volunteers of PNSQC. He was also a speaker today. And Dwayne, how long have you been involved with PNSQC?
Yeah, this was my first year speaking, so I'm pretty excited about that. For me, this is 3 years now attending and volunteering for the conference.
And is there anything different about this year's conference than other conferences? It seems a little different to me.
I haven't put my finger on it yet. We actually will discuss this a month or two out where we have more of a perspective on it. So far today, I mean, I say it's pretty good energy. I think everyone is engaged. We have an app that everyone's using, so I think people are trying to enjoy the content and interact with each other. That's all I can say right now.
Yeah, I mean, it seems a lot more crowded this year than it was last year. I mean, we're walking around like this around the break areas. I mean,
good.
I mean,
good. Excellent.
Yeah, yeah. What would you say would be the biggest thing that did you sit in some other sessions? Did you learn any good stuff? Or?
Yeah. Someone from Bing, I forget his name right now, but he had some great tips for testing, and really his situation was special, but the strategies he used, I think, were really fun and really cool, and maybe I'll take something out of that session. But yeah, totally informative. I was engaged the whole time.
Okay, great. Well, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next year. Hi, my name is Phil Liu. I'm with PNSQC, and I'm interviewing some of the poster paper authors. And here I've got Jeff Olfert. Jeff, why don't you talk a little bit about your fast Rails unit testing and what's different or cool about it?
Okay. So what I think is interesting is that we take the normal Rails workflow and make the tests go from a couple of minutes for 300 or 400 tests down to a second, and so they're really fast.
Wow.
And that's what the title is here. But basically, the way we do that is we mock out the whole stack of Rails code using active support, and that's why we call it active mock. Dustin Ziesler is the one who implemented all the code. I'm just presenting it here. But we use our spec. Instead of connecting all the way to the database and all the way through Rails, we're just connecting to our mock. But the really interesting part that's different is you can use almost the exact same test that you normally would write in our spec, and that's unique. And you can also turn on the testing from full integration into using active mock in one line. It's just right there where it says active mock true, turn that to false. And so you can get side-by-side testing using the fast way and the slow way to build confidence. So I think that's one of the most unique parts of it. Also, the picture I have up there of a car drifting sideways. So you don't get its drift. You don't get any difference between your model, your schema, and your database, and your code. So basically, you won't have any bugs there's a property missing from the database that's not in your model, because we reflectively generate the schema out into this mocker. And there's 2 lines in there that show where that's done.
Right.
So you can go on there on GitHub. I got the link there to look at the source code, to look at the details. But yep.
So this is open source. Everybody can have access to it and use it. Well, that's cool. Great. Wow. Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Jeff.
Thanks.
We'll see you.
A little bit about
what do you think about the end of day one here today?
I thought it was wonderful. It reinforces what we strive for at this conference, which is to bring speakers the legacy of how we've tested before, but new thoughts and creativity on how to develop quality software.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a perpetual thing that we're doing, and I just think it was accumulated with even the first day here. We got it to look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very encouraged.
Okay, cool, thanks. Hi, my name is Phil Liu, and I'm interviewing some of the participants here. Today we have Sri Liu. Sri Liu, why don't you tell us about the end of today? What you're thinking about today?
I like the beginning, I like during, and I like the ending. I met a lot of interesting people, really knowledgeable people, great people. I learned a lot from them, not just technical stuff, a lot of spiritual stuff also, a lot of stuff. Yes, it's a very engaging day. I had a great time. I learned about new concepts, about ETL testing and automation today. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Tell me when you're ready. All right. I have a confession to make today. If something happened today that was surprising, I thought I was going to do a lunch roundtable discussion about quality culture. How do you incite and invite a quality culture around a table, maybe with 3 or 4 people at lunch? It turns out it was a classroom with 10 rows of 10 people each row, and I was blown away at the participation and what I elicited from the audience. I got free intellectual capital that I can use on my next 3 talks here at the conference, and that's what I want to show is here's what your colleagues are saying about what I was going to say, and they actually triggered me to add a few slides that are going to be surprising and interesting, I think, because they were to me. So that's what day one was like for me.
Give us a couple hints.
Let's see. One of the things that stood out was the to invite and incite a quality culture. I said, what would I see on the first day if I was a new employee? And one would be, we value people speaking up right away, no matter what. And this is important, especially when you're new, because you think you wouldn't have very much confidence. But that's when you have the least to lose, because they've already hired you, and your fresh eyes you're only going to have once. So that's the time to speak up. And I'm like, yeah, of course, that's brilliant. So that's one of the things that I took away from today.
Okay, well, we won't take away any of your secrets for tomorrow, so thanks a lot, John.